Hi everybody, my name is Scott McGill, and today's topic for this mini session is Hendrix style guitar playing, and in specifically Little Wing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some techniques to use to kind of spice up your Hendrix rhythm playing and lead playing, and especially we'll use the tune Little Wing as sort of a workshop to bring all these techniques together. And not just Jimi Hendrix, I kind of want to expand a little bit and include players that play in this style, like Ulrich Roth, the older stuff with the Scorpions, also Robin Trower, I guess Frank Marino falls into this category, even Ritchie Blackmore, like Catch the Rainbow and tunes like that. So we're going to use that sort of playing and see how elaborate and tasteful we can make it, okay? And what I'm going to do is just start out by talking about the pentatonic scale, okay? So we're going to talk about all of the pentatonic scales that go with the chords. The chord progression is E minor. I'll just play the basic chords. G major, A minor, and back to E minor. And then B minor, get a little B flat minor, quickly cutting in, A minor, C, and then G, F, C, and then D, back. What we're going to do is we're going to use different chord formations and pentatonic scales to show how we can make this a very interesting arrangement. And it just leads me to think about all the different versions that Hendrix came up with. You know, there's lots of live versions and things of that nature. So it was always different when he played Little Wing. I kind of like that. So let's get started. First change is E minor, right? So what I'd like you to do is consider all your E minor pentatonic scales. So let's go through them. I might not use all of them in the arrangement, but just to show you how these players are perhaps thinking about this, okay? So here's the first one. The second one's here. So these are those 5 positions you probably already know. The third one is here. Fourth. And then the fifth one. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take those 5 just over the E minor chord. I'm going to play them in double stops. So intervals of a fourth, these sorts of things. So notes that are right across from each other, really. So I'm going to use the pentatonic scale to play 2 and 3 notes at a time. And you'll hear how quickly you get into this R&B sort of Hendrix, Trower kind of sound. It becomes, this sort of, And what I'm doing there is just, I'm playing the scale in 2-note double stops. This is especially common in Little Wing. So the scale all of a sudden becomes a chord, okay, or chordal playing, double stops playing. What's nice is it's in between playing block chords and playing lines. It's sort of this midway point, okay? So this is the E minor. So here. It also works for G major because G major pentatonic and E minor pentatonic are the same animal. They're exactly the same notes. There's Wind Cries Mary, right? Right? So just barring and just playing 2 notes at a time. I expand this kind of thinking to all the pentatonics. So I'll go to this one. So I had that one. And don't be afraid to use double and triples too. Don't be afraid to to do this. And a lot of times what Trower and Hendrix would do, especially thinking of Trower, Ritchie Blackmore, and some of the later folks, is to take any of these intervals that are within the pentatonic scale. Hendrix did that all the time. Sounds really nice. Even just that little event sounds like that. And do the same thing with this minor pentatonic. Watch this. So I just took it's really cool. Okay, then I go to the next one. So this one, see? So instead of so it's really nice. It sounds great. It's so simple. And here's the next pentatonic scale. So that's beautiful. It makes that it's such a poetic sound. That's what I love about Hendrix's rhythm playing. This whole school of playing is remarkable. And here it is on this one. That one's really great. So even if I just do E minor, I'll go across the whole thing. Watch this, E minor. I'll keep the low E ringing, so I won't play on the low E to kind of give us a drone. That sounds really good. And remember, that's useful for the E minor and the G because they're the same. So the other chords are A minor. Back to E minor. So there's an A minor in there too. I just use the A. I just switch to the A minor pentatonic. So when the A minor chord comes, they're saying that's a big favorite. If you can get that in, that's really nice. Really great. Those sort of fourths and fifths across the guitar. Here that sounds for the A minor and the A minor pentatonics all over the guitar. Okay, and that works for C too, right? Later on in the tune, you get to C. Then there's a B minor, and then to the B flat. Then there's a D eventually in the tune too. So the B minor pentatonic and the D are the same as well. So okay. So now let's start to put it all together. I'll show you. I'll do the E minor, G major, little fill, A minor, little chord, fill, B minor, B flat, Okay. Now, add a little rotary speaker or a little univibe type effect, and you can really hear it come alive. Okay. And what's nice about all of this is you come up with your own way of playing little wing based on the tradition. Okay. And it's based around pentatonic scales. You already know these. Okay. Don't get too elaborate at first. Try it simple at first and then branch out. So here, I'll just freestyle on this. This is it again. So hopefully a little rotary speaker might help make it a little more authentic. Okay? So there I used all of the different pentatonic types. Again, play the chord, little fill, chord G, A minor, wherever you want it, E minor, yeah, whatever it is, then B minor, B flat. Make a quick nod to the B flat. Sometimes I don't even play the B flat chord, I just play the pentatonic scale. Go right to the A. And a nice thing to do too is, when it goes from G to F, in the original, sometimes not doing the same thing and going down a whole step works, I think, better, going in contrary motion. Like play something in G and then move up and play something in F, for instance. It provides a little more relief, C, D. There's a regular old D chord. Pentatonic. Uli Roth would play, almost like the sixth on that. It sounds it's really neat. And again, the Blackmore recording, To Catch the Rainbow, he proves to be an expert at this sort of stuff too. Just find it very, very interesting. And if you want to make it more advanced, there's sky's the limit to this. Like for instance, you can add counterpoint if you want to this, and sort of get some moving lines. Using the pentatonic, but maybe even getting into the major scale and things of that nature. For instance, here I'll try to spin it out a little bit and show you what I mean. So just make it a little more elaborate, get little moving voices happening. So it can get as elaborate as you want it to, with some counterpoint and things of that nature. And also, interesting, if you want to, it goes from G to A minor. So maybe put a intervening half step I put in there. I put an E triad, an E chord over G sharp. So I went, E minor. That sort of a thing, just to kind of spiff it up a little bit, Put a B in there before I went back. To the E. So I hope this proves helpful. Again, the pentatonic scales, the basic chord forms, a lot can be had out of those. And Hendrix was masterful at doing this. And again, listen, I suggest you go back and check out some old Scorpions with Uli Roth, the 70s Scorpions, and even the recent stuff too, which is amazing. Also Blackmore on Catch the Rainbow, Robin Trower for sure, anything off of Bridge of Sighs, etc. And any of that classic Trower stuff, the old live album is great too, and he plays remarkably well now, so he's a master of this too. So I hope that has proved helpful with your Hendrix kind of playing and your rhythm playing in general, and your solo playing. Again, that's something you can just play sitting down playing the guitar and improvise. So it's between playing solos and playing chords, which is nice. You get to just enjoy the guitar as a solo instrument harmonically. And again, without knowing a ton of chords, knowing the scales and prying those out of the chords, the melodies. I do Skype instruction, so please contact me at the address below on this clip. I'd love to have you along, love to work with you. I'm already working with some really amazing players, so I'd like to have you aboard. Please feel free to contact me at any time, and I hope to talk to you soon.